I came home from work and found a moving truck in my driveway. My brother was hauling boxes into my house like he owned it. The front door lock was brand new. My old lock sat on the porch, drilled out and wrecked. A year earlier, my parents told me they had no space for me. I was unemployed and living in a truck camper. They still had space for my brother Kyle, his wife Erin, and their 4 kids. When I asked to park my camper in their driveway, my mom said, "Pay rent, real rent." Erin laughed and called me a homeless bum. My brother smirked like it was funny. Growing up, he was the favorite and I was the practice target. If he messed with me and I snapped back, I got punished. My parents only treated me equal when other relatives were watching. The day I moved out, they acted relieved. The pandemic hit and I lost everything fast. I sold most of my stuff and bought a cheap camper to survive. I parked wherever I could, slept light, and hunted for work. Months later, I got hired, then promoted. So I bought a small 3-bedroom place near my job. First house, first real stability. I posted one proud photo online. That was my mistake. A few weeks later, my parents showed up unannounced with my brother and Erin. They walked in like tourists and started judging the place. They kept saying I had too much space for just one guy. Then my brother pulled me aside and said, "You can live in your camper and we'll take the house. No rent offer, just rules." In my home, I started recording on my phone. I said, "No," loud and simple. Erin snapped and slapped me across the face. My cheek burned as my mom said, "Do it for your brother." I pointed at the door and said, "Get out or I call the cops." They left, promising I'd come to my senses. I went public first. I told the extended family what happened. I didn't post the video, but I said I had it. That one move mattered because I knew they'd spin it. A week later, they tried again at my door. Chain latch on. My dad shoved. The chain held. My mom cried on command. "Why can't you just do it for him?" I said, "Because I don't want him here." That Friday, I came home to the moving truck and a drilled lock. I sat in my truck and called 911. Erin rushed over and pounded my window. "Stop. You can't do this to me." Next, she leaned in and said, "Mommy said it's okay." The dispatcher heard it and I said, "Screw my brother. It's my house." The police arrived. My brother and Erin locked themselves inside my home. I showed my ID with my address. We walked up to the porch together. The old lock was drilled out. The drill was still sitting there. My parents rolled up mid-chaos and lied instantly. He agreed to rent it. Erin strutted out holding papers. Fake lease. Fake signature. Not even close to mine. I looked at the officers. Then I looked at my family. "You broke in. You forged documents. She assaulted me. Those are felonies." My brother went pale. My mom tried again, softer. "Just do it for him." Everything went slow as one officer told them to start packing. Another stood by my door, hand near his radio. Erin squeezed her belly and sobbed like it was a shield. The kids cried in a neat little line behind her. My brother stared at the ground like it might open up. Then he tried one last stunt. He threw the new keys into a storm drain. A cop made him pull the grate and fish them out. He came back dirty, red-faced and silent. Box by box, my house emptied. The moving truck filled back up and the done deal evaporated. As they left, my mom said, "You're disowned." I shrugged. "Oh no, no more holidays where you treat me like trash." The family finally saw them clearly. I hosted Christmas at my place. Relatives drove hours just to show support. My parents tried to crash it with cheap gifts and fake smiles. My uncle stood up and said, "Get out." Months later, my parents begged me to co-sign an apartment for my brother. I said no. He snapped, "You have so much." I said, "Where were you when I was sleeping in a parking lot?" He couldn't answer. Then Erin's world blew up. She'd been cheating, and the youngest kid wasn't his. She got violent at my parents' house and got arrested. After that, she showed up at my door, wild-eyed and ranting. I told her the camera was rolling. She backed off fast, and I filed reports until I had a restraining order. Here's the ending they never expected. My brother still didn't get my house, but he ended up living in my old camper anyway, in my parents' backyard, so his son could finally have a room. They didn't take my home. They just proved they never deserved it.